Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another sunny day in Belgrade. As you can see, it's pretty warm up, and trust me, you don't want to get stuck in a bus. But of course, welcome to Adria Masters Season 2, and we have 6 teams trying to compete against each other for that title of being the best in this region. And we have 3 teams coming from Serbia, and 1 team coming from Romania, 1 from Hungary, and 1 from Bulgaria. This tournament has been hosted from Belgrade in Serbia, and of course I will be your desk host for today. I'm Danny, and on my left side, 2 beautiful analysts. It's Lucas and Rema. How are you guys, and are you feeling pretty much, I don't know, ready for this good CS?
I'm feeling great. This is soon the start of my second week here in Belgrade. It's been great so far, and I'm looking forward to see some more great not only Serbian, but Adrian CS, we have to say.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be some kind of interesting, I would say, just because of how, for example, players played a few days ago. We saw Godsend winning Chi Invitational, but now I would say that we are on a roll. I think that we are going to have a lot of good teams here that are going to show something that maybe we didn't see online, and also maybe a lot of surprises as well, because for example, GamePub is a new team, newly formed team. For example, like, I don't know, a week now that they've been together, so they can, in my eyes, surprise. BP is coming with an invite after XPC decided to withdraw from Adria Masters, and I think they have potential to surprise us all. But probably the most interesting thing is that Bpro is, in my eyes, a huge favorite to take this one.
Oh, really? Yeah, that's what I was about to ask you. Who would you see taking that first place? But you already said it's probably going to be Pro. And yeah, we have 6 teams divided in 2 different groups, and I would like to see both Group A and Group B on the screen right now. And in Group A, we have ClickTech from Serbia, Bpro from Bulgaria, GamePub from Serbia, that new team you also just mentioned. In Group B, we have Game Agents coming from Hungary, Nexus Gaming from Romania, and Bajni Puleni. Also a pretty new team, and I would say pretty funny name they have. Also coming from Serbia. So we have 6 best-of-1 matches coming your way today, and the first one will be between GamePub and Bpro Gaming. So Rema, tell me first, what do you see? Can GamePub surprise Bpro? So just you like mentioned that they are huge favorites in this tournament.
Yeah, as I said, I think GamePub can definitely surprise. The problem for them is that they are a newish team, and on the other hand, you have Bpro that they are playing in this lineup for quite a while, and they had amazing results actually after Vindigo. I would say that they are the 2nd best team in Bulgaria, and we'll see if they show up at LAN, because when they play online qualifiers and online cups, they usually put a good CS on the board, and if they continue to play like they did in online qualifiers, I would say that Bpro takes this one. But on the other hand, GamePub, as I said, they have pretty good individuals that can win them the rounds when it matters the most. So, and here are they on the screen. So Shev, Collins, Juric, Mafi, and Vir. Juric is their in-game leader. I suppose that Collins will be their AWP player. We remember Juric and Shev from old Squared lineup, when they played under Squared with old BP, or new BP actually. And of course Collins and Mafi coming from Psychoactive Ripple Esports, we remember it from the Serbian league, as well as Vir, my ex-bro on the analyst desk, now playing for GamePub. We'll see if he does well as well. No pun intended, I would say. But on the other hand, I think it's going to be pretty interesting.
Yeah, definitely. And Lucas, Bpro is also competing on international scenes, and they're on a winning streak right now, 4 wins in a row. And I managed to see that they played against Space Soldiers last month, and they had a decent game against them. They lost both maps. I think it was Nuke and Mirage 16-9. So does that experience gives them any advantage against this Serbian team?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they do come into the tournament as one of the most experienced teams, and they're playing very, very frequently. We see them in a lot of online leagues, such as Gauntlet CIS versus EU, where they've been playing for countless seasons. I mean, I've been there for like 15 seasons, I believe, and they have also been there for it at least 10. So I've seen their development, and lately they have been probably the strongest than they've ever been.
Yeah.
So it's going to be really hard for a Serbian sort of mixed team that's newly formed as well to come in here and surprise and win against Bpro.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, and definitely, we don't really know about GamePub and their map pool, so we don't know which maps are they gonna go for. But for Bpro, what do you think, Rema? Are they going to I don't know, to pick their best map, or just give me some details about that?
I mean, they usually love to play Cobble Train and Cache. I think those are the most successful maps for Bpro. And I mean, it's best of one, right? It all depends how the veto goes. If GamePub has maybe some pocket picks that they maybe studied Bpro as well, so they ban out those 3 maps at the beginning because they're the best maps for Bpro. On the other hand, Bpro doesn't know a lot about GamePub, and that's where the surprise comes in, I would say, for GamePub, and maybe they take a map out of them just because of how unprepared can Bpro be for GamePub, because they are a newly formed team, as we said, and they don't have any statistics on HLTV as well to go and check out to see what maps they're practicing and so on and so on. So it's going to be tough, but in terms of skill and in terms of how they developed as a team, I think that Bpro definitely has an edge in this duel.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, definitely. And Lucas, I would just want to ask you, since GamePub is playing in front of their own crowd, does that makes any pressure towards them because they know they're playing against a huge favorite to take this title, or are they just making a lot of freedom for themselves?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be that big of a pressure. Probably more a boost. We haven't seen everybody entering the audience yet, but hopefully it's going to be crowded here in a bit. And if we see that the Serbian team have the majority of the audience's support, then that could definitely give them a boost. Because as an underdog, it's, you don't have, if you lose, then okay, well that was expected. But if you win, on the other hand, you have a lot more to gain. So if the crowd starts cheering, then you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, definitely. And guys, soon players will be going on the map, but we need to see which one is left. So if I see correctly, GamePub banned Nuke.
Yeah.
Yes, Nuke, yeah. Bpro banning Inferno, GamePub banning Overpass, Bpro banning Cache, GamePub banning Cobblestone, Bpro banning Rush, and the last one will be Train. So that's quite interesting, I will say. And I want to say also that Bpro are having decent stats on this map, so maybe I'll go with Ram on this one. Do you see GamePub making a surprise here? I
mean, it's going to be pretty tough, I would say, because Train is that kind of a map where usually the developed teams have more edge, I would say, just because of they've been playing for quite a while. They know their tendencies, how they want to do stuff. And on the other hand, GamePub, yeah, they are all experienced. But the problem is if you didn't really practice that Train enough. But since they left it in the pool, maybe they have something up their sleeve, right? And maybe they surprise. But on the other hand, I would also look to more structured team, as for example is Bpro, and to take a look if how GamePub is going to actually adapt to their play, if they are going to have some, I don't know, setups that kind of counters the Bpro ones and so on and so on. But on the other hand, I think it's pretty interesting. Poison is pretty good with AWP for Bpro, and we know that Train is pretty good for Oppers.
Yeah.
And maybe we see a op duel between him and Collins as well.
Yeah, but one thing that the underdogs do, or the expected worst team coming in to the tournament, one thing that they do is that they tend to pick C-decided maps, or maps that are very uneven, because if they get a good start, if they start on T-side and they get like the first 5 rounds, get their economy going, then it's a lot easier to upset than if you play a map like Cache, where it's more aim-based, and if the other team has more skilled players, then it's going to be hard to upset anything.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and I remember at the first Serbian league when actually Shev played for, I think it was Bajni Poleni as a stand-in, and they managed to lose both maps against a pretty underdog team. And the second map they managed to lose was Nuke, and they were in a huge disadvantage since the very first round. They started to make a comeback, but eventually they lost 16 to, let's say, 13 at some point. And I remember asking Sheva, like, what the hell happened, man? And he was like, bad communication, nobody wanted to talk, everybody was going for kills. So we know how players from Balkan region are getting used to it. So can that make a huge problem if that's happen?
I mean, we have that kind of a mentality, yes, that we can blow up and nothing works our way. But on the other hand, when you have good results online, I think it's a pressure also on Bpro to perform good on LAN. But also, I think when you're a team for quite a while, you kind of get used to some of the stuff that are happening in the team, right? But on the other hand, when you're a newish team and someone blows up and you can't really handle it, right? Because you're first time at LAN, someone gets angry, then everything falls apart. Yeah. And I think that can be a problem, especially if, for example, GamePub starts losing like 8-2-0, 7-2-0. Those first couple of rounds, as Lucas said, get advantage, and then basically that arrogance kicks in actually, and everyone's not really playing to their full potential, and everything's falling apart piece by piece. So hopefully we don't see that. We see good Counter-Strike here. No yelling, because I think, as I said, I think there's a lot of pressure on Bpro just because of their online results, but there's a lot of pressure on GamePub. They came here through qualifiers. Surprisingly, they won against BP in that grand final. No one expected GamePub to move through, and they managed to do it. 16-9, if I'm not mistaken, on Train. And that's the map they actually. I now remember that's the map they actually played against BP. So maybe they do have something here hidden for us on Train against Bpro.
All right, and just one interesting fact. Actually, Shev asked me yesterday to give him some of my most expensive skins, and it's gloves, emerald web, and my bayonet gamma doppler, because he wants to go nuts on this tournament with those skins. But then we forgot about that 7 trade ban you get. So even he can play with those skins until May 5th, and I can't either. So that's really tough. But Lucas, looking at the map they're going to play, it's Train. Which team would you give an edge?
I've seen Bpro so many times on Train, and you know, there's always possibility here on LAN that they underperform in the beginning.
Yeah,
and
best of one as well.
Yeah, as well. You know, that is the opposite format, and then they get a bad start and they get a bit triggered, and then things go downhill. Even that's always the possibility. But I've seen it so many times online, at least. And even if they get a bad start, they know Train very, very well, and they've played each other, or they've played with each other so many times. I mean, they're not a newly formed team, so I mean. After a while, you get to know the personalities, and if one guy blows up, you know, the others can calm him down. Yeah. You sort of have that synergy that you need to come back. So I have a hard time seeing that Bpro would give anything away here on Train.
What do you think, Rema?
I mean, I would agree with Lucas. It also actually depends for, I would say, for knife round as well. Just because of how, for example, as Lucas said, maybe GamePub gets a good start, and they have an edge in that sense that they have confidence. They are leading, for example, 4-0. They get the first full buy round. They're leading 4-0, 5-0 at that point. And everything can happen, right? Bpro can maybe struggle a bit because they're under pressure as well. Their GamePub, on the other hand, is on home soil. So that can help out as well, especially if, of course, as Lucas said, if it's crowded here and they give a huge shout out to GamePub, maybe they have an edge in that sense as well. But I would suggest, even, for example, if GamePub gets a knife round, start on City side, and if you work out of that, I mean, T side is pretty hard when you're a newish team, right? Because of the timings, because of set executes and everything. But since they managed to win against BP, and BP has a lot of good players, a lot of good individuals, I'm kind of split right now, because I want to cheer, of course, for GamePub. I'm from Serbia as well, but on the other hand, my heart says GamePub, but my mind says Bpro. That's the only struggle now that I have in me.
Yeah, and I want to ask you about your theory since Boston 2018, when you said at T4X Studio that some matches that were played at early morning, that some teams who managed to win ninth round will start on T side.
That can happen as well, right? I mean, a lot of analysts talked about that one as well. A lot of players said that, for example, when it's too early for the players, of course, we know how gamers stay up at night and everything. When it's too early for the players, they tend to pick T side because you're actually waking up and you start on CT side. You need to have really good coordination, really good communication as well, and then on the other side, you have explosive T side coming out, for example, from Bpro or GamePub, doesn't really matter, and they stomp you, and you don't really know what happened. And later into the day, and you figure out like, okay, maybe we weren't really awoken, maybe we made some crucial mistakes that can cost us the whole game. But I don't think that's the case here, right? Because they were prepared for this one. They knew that they're going to play at 10 a.m. They probably went to sleep early, and that they are quite prepared to get this. I mean, Bpro was here before me, and they were quite prepared to get into this one.
Even I was here before you. But I've seen some players on
Yeah,
GamePub being online on deathmatch servers at 6 a.m. I was literally awake at that time. I don't know why. Been sleeping for 3 hours, but since players are almost ready to go to the map, I just want to go with your prediction. So, Lucas, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, his mind says Bpro, and so does mine. So I have to say Bpro. But you're going to cheer for the Serbian team, I assume?
Yeah, I mean, why not? I'll go with GamePub, just because they're from here, and I definitely think that they can surprise.
Well, I don't know. What should I do? Because I'm half Serbian and half Hungarian, and later on we'll have definitely a match between these two teams, but I'm not going to cheer for anyone. I'll be neutral. So yeah, guys, players are definitely going on the server right now. They're still warming up, and we'll go for a short break. And after that, we'll jump straight into the game. And your casters for today are Dean and Hoka.
Yo, guys, can you... Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Adria Masters Season 2. My name is Hawker, joined here by Dean, and as we heard at the analysis desk earlier, those guys think that Bpro are favourites for the whole tournament. And Dean, do you have any reason to predict them here against this GamePub mix?
Against this GamePub mix, I don't really think they're going to struggle too much, but I don't know about favourites for the whole tournament. I think Game Agents as well coming into this one are going to be a pretty solid team, of course, having a mixture of pretty experienced players who've been around for quite a while. But yeah, it should be a pretty interesting game coming into this one. I definitely, as I said, will favour Bpro for this matchup at least. It's going to be a difficult one for GamePub, but they can pull it off, get off to a good start, get the momentum in their favour early on, and there's no reason why they can't actually get themselves this upset.
Yeah, and also the desk talked about the map here, Train. I think a map that Bpro certainly will be very comfortable on. But at the same time, GamePub, they won that Serbian qualifier, actually beating one of the other teams here, Bajini Puleni. They managed to beat them 16-9. So clearly they have some pedigree on this map. And that was a bit of an upset there in that qualifier. So that's something that's worth mentioning. Even if it is a good map for Bpro, GamePub have proved they can play it in the past, and we'll see if they can step it up here as we head underway.
I was going to say right into pistol, but just as we get down to about 1 second on the timer, we do have a little pause coming in, so hopefully this won't last too long. Let's see what both teams are going to be buying up anyway. Very little to be purchased from Bpro so far. A kit for Yorick over on the CT side, and the rest of the players just with Kevlar, so fairly standard for the CTs, just that one defuse kit. Venko going to be picking up a smoke, a flash, and a grenade. It'll be interesting to see if anyone decides to pick up any extra utility. If not, then I'd say it's most likely they'll probably bring this one towards B. Well, only that one smoke, of course. Not really too many other options to go with.
Yeah, and we also heard the desk discuss the fact that obviously this is quite an early game in the day. That can sometimes play a factor. That can sometimes help the underdogs if they can get off to a quick, strong start. If, you know, Bpro aren't exactly as well prepared here, that could be a factor. I think as well, it was Lucas who said if GamePub started on the T side, maybe then if they get off to a sort of 5-0 quick start, then they could be in really good shape because obviously Train is so CT-sided. But they're starting on the CT side. Still, though, if they can get that strong start together, that certainly seems like it will be the best way for GamePub to compete here.
Yeah, certainly. Trying to get off to that start, take the pistol, maybe even the first gun round, and just get a pretty solid economy built up so that you won't be in a position where you just keep getting that broken. Always more fragile on the CT side, of course, so it'll be interesting to see if GamePub are going to be able to get off to that good start themselves, as we said, will be important. If not, then it can be very difficult, just of course being a little bit more expensive over on that CT side to get those buys out. Money bonus not really always being enough, so you can really get into a cycle where you just keep going for one buy, force back onto an eco, especially if you're getting that loss bonus reset. Let's see though, we do see actually Blocker this time buying up utilities, so I presume Venko is going to go ahead and buy that up as well, so they should have 2 sets, and the rest of the players likely just going to get Kevlar.
Yeah, if Venko goes for a Molotov as well, that could be something that comes into play, especially towards B. There's that easy molly you can throw straight onto the bomb. Obviously, there is a smoke on the CT side, so that could counteract that. But all of these are sort of, you know, things that we're going to have to wait to see how the round plays out to see exactly how the utility is used. So it's kind of hard to predict exactly where they are going to deploy those smokes. But on the GamePub side of things, I mean, as we were saying, this is a fairly new roster. But we have got, you know, some, I guess, some knowledge of them, mainly just thanks to that qualifier they played. And in the final, it was Weir who really stood out for the team. He was the man who top fragged for the roster to get them that win. So let's see if he can do the same here, because it's the same map that they played in that final here on Train. Maybe if Weir can step it up, that could be the key to victory for GamePub. But it's certainly Bpro that are big favorites for this game.
Yeah, definitely. Just coming in with some more experienced players, more recognizable names, but you never know. We could definitely see an upset being pulled off by GamePub. Hopefully we won't be waiting too much longer to get into the action. But yeah, trying a good map to start this one off on as well. Not a map you see too often, I guess. Not in the best of ones, at least, being one of those kind of slightly more one-sided maps, but even then again, I suppose it's not really that one-sided of a map. You have games coming in a lot of time where teams manage to win it out on that T side, so I think it's just all down to whoever gets off to the good start, as we said before. But here we go, getting right into the action now. There's just going to be the fuse kits for everyone except for Yurik over on the GamePub side, and Venko does go ahead and buy up utility. It's Blocker to actually go ahead and get the Molotov. The round was restarted. Like you said, that could be used over towards B if needed. And look at this one, Aggression going to be coming in immediately from the CT side. Collins actually just decides to, or rather, Ware just decides to stay up towards that E-box, so not going to be pushing much further. And right now, Bpro just holding a default Blocker outside A main, watching to make sure no one gets aggressive on Ivy. And most of their presence right now over towards Pop Dog, I believe. So looking like they might be trying to split towards this A bomb site. The smoke, I believe, just going to go over towards Ivy.
Looks like it should be the case. Bpro taking a little bit of time to set up these nades, but here we go. Blocker deploys his smoke.
You forgot to throw it, did you?
Oh, yeah, no, it doesn't. Oh, okay, no, he did.
Oh, no, the UI's bugged.
Yeah, a bug in the UI, but there we go. A little bit confusing, but the game is going. We are going to see the first kill come in for Bpro. I don't know if we're live because Blocker had his knife out, but it's into a 4v4. I'm going to assume we're still playing because the kills are coming in. Only 2 kills for Red Zero so far, and he's left 1 on 3. He gets taken down. It's Chev who gets a 4K, but I'm not exactly sure if that's going to count.
Yeah, that was just a weird round. I think there's unlimited ammo on. I don't think they were losing their utility when they were throwing it. I think that was the problem.
Oh.
I don't think it was a UI bug. Because I'm pretty sure I saw him take a smoke out then when he was taking out his Molotov as well, running out of MN, so...
Yeah.
I'm presuming that was the
definitely
problem. Yeah, it's really strange. Question is now, did they go for the same thing?
Ooh.
They might have to come up with a new pistol strat now. They got the opening kill as well. It was going quite well to like all the stop, but I suppose with the infinite ammo you have to.
Yeah. By the way, while I was
confused.
caught up in the action there, I did call him Red Zero because for some reason he's put his name as Red Zero. He's obviously called Red Star, but he's just doing that to mess with me.
Well, that's what you get when you don't put your name correct.
I mean, who would even want to be like Cold Zero these days, to be honest?
Why would you want to use your own name? There's over 1,000 viewers on the stream right now. He's a player that doesn't play in tournaments this level too often. Use your name and get yourself that recognition if you play well. Or if you play bad, I guess it could be a bit of an escape.
True. Maybe he is going to change his name to Red Zero. You don't know.
As long as he hasn't played in a major yet, Valve should allow it.
There you go. Maybe they're going to get a whole team full of Zeros.
Zik Zero, Poison Zero, Venko Zero, and Blocker Zero.
Yeah, maybe. I'm trying to think of their other players that have Zero at the end of their name. I can't think of any.
I don't think there's any.
No.
Maybe Brazilians.
Yeah. Maybe you just get 5 Cold Zeros on a team and see how it goes. Then there'll be no entry fragging though.
Yeah, the role-wise, that wouldn't be perfect. Although it'd still be pretty decent because he is a very versatile player. You could have him as a primary opper. He could probably do a bit of in-game leading. Of course, used to him probably still does help out with the in-game leading for SK. Not quite sure. I know he did back in the LG days at least. So yeah, it'd actually be a pretty solid lineup. You'd be able to fill out most of the roles.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if there was a tournament where you cloned yourself 5 times and you made a whole team, then Cold Zero would be one of the best teams there, probably.
Yeah, Simple and Cold Zero, probably.
The Simple would probably just win, because that's just not fair.
He could be pretty solid as well, if he can get back to his Mouse Sports form when he used to op as well. Of course, he could lead back in Mouse Sports, so yeah, another player. It seems like all these top players are just very, very versatile, and that's kind of what gives them the advantage. I guess they don't really get as predictable. They can approach the game in many different ways.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I think it definitely gets to a point where if you just have that firepower, then that should be good. I mean, if you're just going to have one player clones, like you can't just have 5 Carrigans. It's just not going to go well.
Carrigan used to be able to op though.
True. You could have an AWP Carrigan. He could practice his AWP for like a year, maybe get good.
He could be a decent leader. Yeah, you could clone him multiple times, and you could clone him to have him as a coach and everything, so that the in-game leader can focus. The in-game leader version of Carrigan could focus a bit more on the fragging. So
exactly.
It's just all about. We just need to learn how to clone people, and then we can finally make FaZe win some finals.
Ooh. Ooh, okay. Don't know where to go from here. This took a pretty weird tangent.
I had to go for the BM while I was given the opportunity.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? Else we can talk about. Obviously, the viewers can see on the stream that this is, I mean, we haven't really mentioned it too much, but it is a LAN. You know, the players are getting to play at a LAN tournament, which can be different. I don't think too many of these players would have played at that many sort of big LAN events. I mean, this isn't, a massive event, but 5K prize pool, that's pretty decent for teams this level. So it's going to be really cool to see how they perform if the pressure gets to them, because LAN can be a whole different ball game. We've seen players in the past struggle, so if someone can, step it up, then that'll be interesting to watch out for, especially on Bpro. They've played a lot of online tournaments, but I don't think I've seen them too often at LAN, so that'll be interesting.
Yeah, definitely. I presume we're going to be having a restart as well. Worth noting that hasn't happened yet, but since the call was stopped, I believe, before any kills came in, it should be fine. And it seemed like there was an issue with, most likely, I'd presume, unlimited ammo being on, because I don't think that was just a bug on the UI. I was very confused when he threw out the smoke and a shot is still in the inventory. I was like, oh no, did he not throw that?
Yeah. Yeah, it took me out of it a little bit.
Yeah, I just got super confused.
Imagine if you did just have like a ton of smokes, though. Just one guy sits back, throws all the smokes at his team.
You'd have to be super fast at lining them up.
Yeah. Or you'd learn like all different smokes from just one position. So you'd just be like boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, good point. And you have them in a certain order, and you have the timing perfectly, so you can just keep throwing them.
Exactly. You throw one with like a really, really high arc, and that takes ages to come down. And then the next one can be like a quicker one. Boom. Yeah. Great idea. I mean, you
don't even have to leave. You can just keep re-throwing them as well to give your teammates cover.
Oh yeah, exactly.
So it has to be a whole different experience if you had unlimited ammo.
Definitely. I mean, if you had unlimited ammo, I don't know what would be the best way to play. Would like
P90 rushes according to the silvers.
Yeah. I mean, would you just
the Negev would be unbelievable.
Yeah. I mean, it would still be it'd
be impossible. You could just the CTs could just constant streams of Molotovs.
That's true. But then you smoke the Molotovs. You just
then
put
more
loads
Molotovs
and
in
loads
front
of
of where the smoke is down.
This is really dumb.
Every time you see a new smoke, you're just surrounded in Molotovs.
This is a good idea. I mean, we can preview this group A as well, though. We've got 3 teams in each group as we head back into reality, out of this crazy world that we've invented. Bpro, ClickTech, and GamePub. I think it's pretty set that Bpro should be winning this group. I think maybe ClickTech and GamePub could be fighting it out for that second spot. I'd say ClickTech would probably be favorites to take that. But, I mean, Bpro, they have to prove to us that they are going to be the dominant force in this group first by getting this opening win.
Yeah, as you said, I think Bpro definitely the favourites in this group. I would say probably Game Agents the favourites in Group B. But even then, it's going to be a little bit close. I think kind of Bpro and Game Agents are on a very similar level, and Nexus as well, not really too far behind. They've kind of dropped off since losing Cosmin, of course, quite a while ago at this point. But he was, of course, a very solid player, a very valuable one to have on the lineup. They still have a pretty good team now, but we haven't seen quite as much from them kind of since that time when they had Cosmin. Well, at least I used to see them basically every day playing some cups on HLTV, etc. And they've been a little bit more inactive lately, I guess. Hopefully that means they've been focusing a lot on the practice. And hopefully they'll be putting up a great fight in this tournament, and we might see them even coming out on top of it. I think there's, as I said, a few different teams that could definitely take this one.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when talking about Nexus, I think Zello is probably the player to mention. Yeah. He's only 17 as well, so that's pretty exciting, and he's certainly the standout player on that lineup, so he's someone to watch out for heading into the rest of the day. We can also talk about which players we think, in general, could be contenders for that MVP. I mean, obviously, it's early into the tournament, but there's certainly, I'd say, a couple of standout players. I mean, for Bpro, it's probably Poison and Blocker who normally stand out in terms of frags. Poison, in particular, a very, very good player, so he could certainly be up there with the best of them. And yeah, as you were saying, I think it's between those 3 teams you mentioned previously, probably, who will be fighting it out for that top spot. So certainly we could be seeing some of those sort of standout players be, a cut above the rest here, because I think for some of these sort of lower tier teams, I guess you could say, oftentimes it does seem there are some pretty big differences in skill level.
Yeah, definitely. I'm looking forward to watching Game Agents play as well, because Collar is a very good opper. It's interesting to always watch him. He's very skilled, good at hitting those shots. One of those very flashy players from what I've seen. And yeah, it'll be interesting to watch. I think most likely Bpro versus Game Agents would be the final, but we could certainly see some upsets happening, and that not be the case. Real question is Red Star actually playing on 60 Hz? Because he has 60 Hz God as his Steam tag.
Yeah, sorry.
They provided him with 60 Hz on LAN, so that'd be weird.
I was just getting distracted by seeing what was going on the stream, because I think there's an admin over on the Bpro side right now trying to sort something out. So not exactly sure what's going on, but we'll see if this gets restarted. I mean, right now we're expecting it to probably get restarted, but who knows at this point? Anything could happen. I guess we should also catch up the people that have just joined us. So the pistol round was played out. We think that there might have been some sort of issue with the server config. There might have been infinite ammo on or something. Either way, something really weird happened. Definitely one of the Bpro players at one point just pulled out his knife and just stopped playing. So it didn't look like that round was legit, but we'll see.
That was after the stop was called, though, so it was originally live. But I think they got a kill before they called stop, so does that technically mean the round can't be restarted? That's if it was a technical issue or a... Yeah, technical issue, of course. If it was an issue where it was the infinite ammo being on, as we speculated, due to the utility not disappearing off the hood, then I suppose a restart would be in the best interest, obviously. So I guess we'll see what happens. We haven't been given the exact info about what's going on, but as you said, it seems like an admin was over at the Bpro side, so hopefully not an issue on their end, and it's not going to be a 1-0 start in favor of GamePub. Well, Bpro were basically not even playing, as we said. There was one player who just kind of took his knife out and stood in Olaf and just got taken down.
Yeah, I mean, for what it's worth, you probably should just keep playing, just in case.
Yeah,
like, even if you think,
with the man advantage as well, they had a 5-on-4.
Yeah, like I don't know why you pull out your knife. You might as well just try and keep playing, see exactly what is happening. But either way, again, back onto the stream, you can see the players just chilling out. I mean, this game was scheduled to start a fair while ago now, so I'm sure they'll be a little frustrated that we can't get underway, but technical issues always happen. I mean, there's so many things that can go wrong, right? Just like one PC messing up could be a big thing, so always difficult to get everything sorted out, especially early on into the day. But we've got plenty of time to play out these groups, so we'll get into the action. Don't worry, we'll bring you all the games today. It's a pretty lenient schedule as well, so I'm sure we'll catch up.
I'm just trying to look over to VOD now to see exactly what happened. Hopefully I can try and
that's a good idea.
Come to a conclusion.
Yeah. Do some adminning of your own.
I'm pretty sure I seen him pull out the smoke again after he threw us. So
oh, definitely.
If that was the case, then it was indeed a issue with unlimited ammo being on. But then again, that wouldn't take too long to fix, so there might be an issue on the Bpro side as well.
Yeah. Difficult to know for sure. But yeah, Bpro certainly will be, again, favorites coming into this game here on Train. Looks like I think we are having a break while we get this sorted. So we will fix out these technical issues. Make sure to stick around, guys. We will be back after this quick break. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Adria Masters Season 2. Looks like the technical difficulties should be sorted out, so thank you guys for sticking with us. Apologies about the delay, and we should be ready to get back into the action shortly.
Yeah, just waiting on Poison, I believe, to rejoin the server. I think that's who we're missing.
Yeah, it should be.
Yeah, hopefully all the issues have been resolved. Still not sure what the issue was exactly, but seems like it has been fished. Fished. It's too early. Apologies.
Oh yeah. I'm sure some Counter-Strike action will wake you up, Dean.
Oh, definitely. Some great Counter-Strike action indeed will. Yeah, it's going to be a good one. I'm in a weird when I'm casting people with names that I have to kind of change the pronunciation from letter to letter. I end up messing up a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Even just the normal words, it's like I change my way of speaking so that I can do the kind of accents. Like I think it's Uric, is it?
Who knows? Uric? Yeah, that's what I go for. Just a quick update then. Okay, so we have got word that the game has been fully restarted, so we will be starting again from a 0-0 scoreline. That's basically what we expected, so shouldn't be too much of a surprise to anybody. But the interesting thing is, as you were saying earlier, that Bpro, they kind of showed their smokes there, so we'll see if they go for the same play and if GamePub are ready for it.
That's the thing though. They didn't really. I guess the way to put it, they didn't show too much in the lead up to that execute. They were quite silent the entire time, so they could maybe just go and break that window of a pop dog, and then if they wanted, they could execute A. If not, they could go towards B. And like GamePub aren't really going to know any better because, as I said, there was no real cues to show that they were doing that other than breaking the window. But they can break the window either way. So yeah, coming into this, let's see what they do decide to go for. You have to buy up anything on the T side, so we'll see if it's going to be similar sets of utility for Blocker and Venko. As you would expect, though, the kick comes out for Uric. And there we go. Only one set of utility this time, a smoke and a Molotov. So I'd say that attack towards B a bit more likely now. The one smoke going to be going down the ramp or maybe over towards Connector. Could be towards either. But actually, Venko staying outside of A main. So let's see. Seems like he will be just hanging back. So probably a deep Connector smoke, I'd presume, if he threw that from outside of A. And yeah, there it is indeed. So Glock's just trying to close the distance in now. Uric going to be the one that's able to actually open this up by dropping Red Star. So man advantage will be claimed for the CT side. But the bomb does get planted. As I say that though, kill's still going in favour of the CT side. Nothing to be found so far at all for Bpro. That bomb plant, the only thing that's really gone in their favour. Venko gets one eventually. But he is now the last man standing. And Molotov, will he get to use it is the question. Doesn't get a chance. It's where to close it out. So there we go. Nice pistol coming in by GamePub. Nice retake towards B.
Yeah, smoke towards the bomb made that round pretty much unwinnable for the last man. Venko there just had to try and fight. And unfortunately for Bpro, they couldn't really close the distance there with those Glocks. It was quite well played from GamePub, though, because you saw the one player towards B obviously just hanging back, trying to make sure that he could delay them and just take some longer range fights where those USPs are favored. And he managed to, draw enough of a rotation over. He managed to slow things down enough to allow that rotate to come in, and that made all the difference. We are going to see the pistols, as you would expect for Bpro. Only a few pistols upgraded because of that bomb plant, so they should be buying into the next round. But this one, they'll just be looking to try and do some damage. But up against full rifles, that shouldn't be too likely.
Yeah, it should be a pretty easy time. Taking these long-range fights with pistols means not much is going to work out for Bpro. Venko is at least able to get one kill. But it is down to a 2-on-4 now, and it's all rifles remaining. But Venko getting more done. A dink comes in on towards Chev as well. This could get a little bit dangerous now, but it is Poison. Last man standing with a Glock. If you can get one more kill, drop another rifle, that would be ideal. As we can see, he does get pushed down, so Weir is in position to close down now. So a 2-0 start for GamePub. Bpro, of course, getting the bomb plant on the pistol. They will be able to buy now, but it's not going to be perfect. They're going to lack a bit in terms of the utility. And let's see, the buy for GamePub should be pretty decent. I think they may have to go for one weaker weapon, likely onto Uric. But other than that, should be pretty good. Decent amount of utility as well for them to work with. So let's see now, 3 smokes and 4 flashes for Bpro coming into this first gun round. And let's see if they're going to be able to get themselves off to a decent start, or if GamePub will take this first gun round, as we said, is something that they kind of needed in order to have a good chance to pull off this upset. And look at this aggressive push early on towards B. Doesn't really work out immediately, but they do eventually get the trades in their favor. So good work from Weir, and Chev able to shut down Poison as well. This round has just completely fallen apart for Bpro. They got that initial trade, but since then, just all the kills have gone in favor of GamePub, and it's all down to Venko now in a 1-on-4. That's creeped down to that A bomb site, but doesn't expect the Yorick to be waiting nearby. So there we go, GamePub with a 3-0 lead to start it off. And it should be another eco now coming in.
Yeah, not only did Weir get that double kill in towards upper, which was really useful, but also the rotate was really rapid there from GamePub. Bpro were not ready for that much of a defense on towards that B bomb site. They were the ones that were thinking they were going to go for the quick aggression, but it was actually GamePub who pushed in towards them. And considering they are underdogs here, it's nice to see GamePub play with such confidence. They claim a quick 3-0 lead, looking very good early on with that push out towards B, very successful. And as we were saying, if GamePub can get rolling early on, that is their best possible chance. And they've got that AWP out for Weir now as well. So with a 3-0 lead and Bpro's economy still being in trouble, this is exactly the start GamePub would have wanted.
Yeah, definitely, and they should have a round here where they can likely take it a little bit cleaner. They probably want to keep at least 4 or 3 players alive. Yeah, and with not too much being upgraded for the T side, that is pretty likely. They have the op to work with now as well, which I guess could be a bit dangerous. But on Train, not too much so. Playing a bit more passive towards Connector, and it looks like they might try and make this attack towards the A bomb site on the Bpro side. But I was gonna say, bit limited in terms of what they can do with that smoke going down, but somehow Zix is able to open that one up onto Muffy, so a nice opening kill to be found. An advantage in favour of Bpro, but doesn't last for too long. We're instantly to go ahead and return that one and bring it back into an equal situation. Here we go now, the attack looking to try and come in. That Molotov going to prohibit them from pushing out a pop top, and 2 players born alive. That's just unlucky. They couldn't survive from that no matter what. That was literally a perfect Molotov.
Oh boy.
Poison spotted as well.
It's unfortunate, isn't it? Well,
yeah,
they wouldn't have expected to get too much done anyway with pistols, so it could have been worse.
2 kills though.
Decent. Yeah, there you go. Poison gets 1 at the end, so a little bit of damage done. The AWP will be kept into the next round though. I think they did see Weir fire off that AWP as well, so Bpro will be aware that that AWP is in play. It's pretty likely that there is going to be an AWP on the CT side though, so not something that will be too crazy for them. And heading into round 5, we will see if they can finally get their first round on the board on the Bpro side of things, because GamePub's economy still isn't that strong thanks to this constant damage. So if Bpro were to win 1 or 2 rounds, they could very well reset that CT economy. And we're already seeing some aggression quickly in towards A.
Yeah, it seems like Bpro definitely want to keep the pace up in this game so far. And there you go, Venko actually does find the opening kill, but once again, the trades go immediately back in favor of GamePub. Definitely aware of this off now, as Weir is able to take himself 1. Chev from Heaven also able to drop a single player before eventually falling, so man advantage stays in favor of the CT side. Poison and Venko in a very troublesome situation, surrounded. It's Yorick to strike from Ivy, leaving Venko on his own. Was a 1-on-3, gets the first kill. Second, a lot of damage being done, and both of these players not really looking so healthy right now, as is Venko though, rather. And now brings it down to a 1-on-1 with the USP of Weir to close it out. There we go, 5-0 for GamePub. Another gun round goes in their favor. And it was 2 HP in the difference that decides that round.
We're still yet to die. He made it close there, surviving on 2 HP, but 9 kills, 0 deaths for the AWPer so far. And again, confidence being shown from GamePub, specifically Weir there to fight with just the USP in that 1-on-1 was certainly a risk. But the headshot comes through, and Venko will get the 1 AK into this round. He's been the one shining lights for Bpro so far, so let's see if the Bulgarians can get something done with the 1 rifle in play. Even with this AK being bought up as well, Venko has 1,100 in the bank, so he should be able to afford a buy into the next round anyway. And any damage here would again be a bonus, because GamePub's money is still not so strong considering they're 5-0 up.
Yeah, that's not a good start though. Venko actually tagged down to 37 almost immediately, so he's weakened up. Maybe worthwhile dropping that AK over to one of his teammates who also has Kevlar, but let's see if that's going to be the case. There we go, he drops it over to Red Star, so yeah, a little bit more useful in his hands now. Venko, of course, still having a Deagle to work with at long range to try and find those quick one-taps, but Red Star immediately falls. We're going to go ahead and get himself another kill, up to 10 already. Double digits reached in only the 6th round, and Chev to shut down Zix as well. Eventually drops Venko, so yeah, nothing working out at all for Bpro right now. It seems like with these pistols, at least, they've kind of just been I guess the one time they tried to go fast was towards B, and they got caught off by the aggression. So since then, they've been holding, waiting to see if anyone pushes forward again from GamePub, and realizing that they're up against the pistols. Mostly, they're just sitting back, taking those long range duels, and with the rifles, they're always going to be favored. There we go. The bike comes back out for Bpro now. They can get an op on the Poison. I'd be confused if they didn't get that, because with this being now the third gun round, 6-0 for GamePub, this is when you start bringing out the op. And there we go, yeah, Poison is indeed going to get that one, and also a decent amount of utility to back this up. So let's see what Bpro try now into this round, because the past few haven't been working at all.
Ooh, aggression again from the CT side. Push coming in through B ramp, and it's Collins to get the first kill. There's a second as well. Trades coming in, Chef does fall, and Collins low on health, but his molly gets a third frag. Collins doing all of the work on the B hold, and he's still got another player here to assist him. So this is a good start for GamePub yet again. And winning that last round so convincingly was very useful for them building up that money. So they look like they are in good shape. Although as the bomb goes back towards A, Weir is going to have to hold this off. He's been good with the AWP so far. Let's see if he can land this shot again, because the boost is in play. And actually, Weir's just rotated off of connector, so A is wide open right now.
If he runs straight to back lines, though, he's going to have a vision on towards Pop Dog, but it seems like he's being cautious, expecting the players perhaps to wrap around through Ivy. And that should give him access to this A bomb site. The bomb plant should be found for Bpro, and then it comes into a pretty winnable situation, I do have to say. So let's see. Red Star should be able to get that bomb down quite easily. And it's also going to give them a decent amount of time to go ahead and actually position themselves, because, yeah, as we can see, no one really in position right now to try and do too much, with the bomb yet to be planted. So, as I say that, they were being a bit cautious, making sure that all the positions were cleared out. But here we go now, 2-on-3. And it's going to be the retake coming in for the CT side. And interestingly enough, they've split up all their players. They're coming in from different positions, all three. So the opportunity for 1 versus 1s are definitely there for Bpro. Let's just see if they can actually win them out. Bomb slowly taken away, but there is the fuse kits. Also some utility for the CT side to work with. Nice Molotov towards Zix. Going to be doing a little bit more damage onto him and forcing him back into a bit more of a passive angle. But there we go. Red Star going to be able to get 1 kill. Does a lot of damage, but he's left all alone now as he brings it down into a 1-on-1. I don't think Weir has the time anymore. I think that's the round basically over and done with, and he may even get his first death onto the board. No, he actually gets the kill again, so yeah. Doesn't count as a death if he dies to the bomb, so.
Yeah.
Doesn't get it on the scoreboard, at least. He technically did die.
Doesn't get to save the AWP, though, but certainly can still afford that one. Ooh, okay.
Interesting.
Yeah.
He's currently 12-0, and he decides to put down the weapon that he's been doing most of that damage with.
Yeah, exactly. Giving it over to Juric. I was going to say it could be due to the spawn, but Juric wasn't exactly in that good of a position to go for too much aggression. And it doesn't look like he's going to go for any early aggression, so it's just going to be the AWP given over to Juric this time. A little bit of a strange decision, but we'll see if it pays off, because if GamePub could win this round, they would come out to an incredible lead early on. But at the same time, their money is actually really poor. They don't have any money in the bank due to a few of those earlier rounds being close. So this is Bpro's chance to work their way back into this matchup. If they win this round, they should still be in good shape, especially on the T side of Train. But it's not going to be easy for them, because the aggression again comes in from GamePub.
Oh, the
timing slightly off. Blocker is going to get the eventual trade onto his teammate. So just a 1-for-1 there, and there wasn't really any backup in terms of the CTs trying to get the trade there.
I was expecting a flash to come in after the nade, in all honesty, but apparently not. Nice shot from Blocker, going to be able to get himself a second. So yeah, that aggression not working out, going on his own. He gets the first kill, but trades are always going to favor the T side, and then Blocker goes ahead and does even more. He gets himself another kill, but Chev through throwing 1. Red Star now going to be making his way out of Pop Dog and looking to just try and push onto this A bomb site right now. It's going to be all onto Weir to try and hold this down. And he does start it off quite well. Gets that opening headshot, but will eventually be traded out by Poison. So this leaves it all down to Collins now. And he won't be able to find anything. Poison expects that flank. And as you said, that round extremely important for Bpro to pick up. Both teams were working with basically no economy in the bank. And that's going to be an eco now coming in for GamePub. So Bpro in with a chance to try and take this round a bit cleaner. Get themselves into a position where they can build up at least a bit of economy to make sure that they have 1 buy in the reserve. And yeah, they should be getting themselves a 3rd round onto the board, unless we see an absolute miracle being pulled off with these pistols, because it's 2 P250s and 3 USPs. So a few kills is ideal, at least for the GamePub side.
Yeah, very heavy save from the CTs. So that means it should be an easy round for Bpro. Already Blocker getting the work done. Ooh, easy stuff. Not really taking any damage. Vinko takes 13 points of health off, but other than that, nothing coming through for GamePub. So Bpro will look to start to work their way back into this one. They're going to get their third round on the board, and I don't think GamePub will be able to afford an AWP, and if they can, it's going to be without Kevlar. So that's going to be something that could be a problem for them, because we've already seen them rely somewhat on those AWPs so far. Collins is going to try and sneak away with this AK, though. He's managed to find it. You can see, though, the terrorist hunting him down, and Blocker will end the round with a 3K.
Yeah, Blocker starting to step it up over these past couple of rounds. I believe he got 2 in the previous. Yeah, it was Blocker in that gun round who was able to find that trade and then get the entry towards Ivy. So yeah, he's beginning to show up a little bit. As was said, Blocker and also I believe Poison were pointed out as kind of the 2 main performers for this Bpro side. So we'll be looking towards both of those to go ahead and step it up. But let's see, we're continuing on with some great performance, 13-2 currently. And now as they have the bye coming back out, let's see, GamePub, will they be able to get themselves another round onto the board, or are Bpro going to continue to close this deficit? And that's the real question. Looks like they might be going for a bit of a faster paced round this time around. Straight over towards B. Not going to be making too much noise, just one player spamming away, trying to, I guess, show that it could be that default that we've seen in the past, just the one player working towards this part of the map. But instead, all 5 are ready to try and execute. But it seems like GamePub have a bit of a raid on this one. Already rotating one player over to assist. And I was going to say Yurik nearby in connector as well. And he will begin to rotate as the smokes go down. So let's see if the CTs are going to be able to hold this one. Chef gets one before being traded out. And Collins on top of the all train will actually get taken down almost immediately. So into a 3-on-3. That flank also being spotted now. So they're aware of that one coming in. But that means they're kind of just trapped in towards this bomb site, so this actually does make it quite awkward for them. Not a lot of utility for the CT side to work with in terms of the Molotovs, but they do have at least smokes and flashes. But there we go, Poison and Red start to go ahead and take themselves a kill each. All down to Muffy now, he's left alone on a 1-on-3, and he's already decided to go ahead and save this rifle.
Yeah, it was Weir who really needed to step up in that position, in that 3-on-3 retake, because he was the player on that big flank, and with Red Star having that Molotov in towards upper, he was in such a strong position that even if the kills came through elsewhere, he was always going to be able to slow down that defuse, and without the kit, GamePub were always going to be in trouble. So as soon as Weir loses that fight, that was basically the round over and done with. And that means that Bpro will keep their win streak going, a 4th round win in a row. And even with Muffy saving this M4, it's not enough for GamePub to get a full buy going. But they will get the CZs out. And we've seen GamePub already go for a fair amount of aggression on their gun rounds. So I certainly wouldn't be surprised to see that aggression come through here with the pistols. And indeed, it looks like the CZs will be pushing up through B.
Yeah, looking to be the case indeed. A nice opening kill actually been found by Chev elsewhere. So the bomb actually being dropped as well. This could be really awkward now for Bpro. Poison does return that almost instantly, luckily enough for Tribes. The bomb, Venko going to be able to find the kill as well. Brought back into a 3-on-3, so at the very least some damage has been done into this round. The possibility for some even more to be found. And that was a fight there that if that was won out by Collins, that would have given them a chance into the round. But he falls. A man advantage is put in favour of Bpro as they get themselves control of this A-bomb site. Also a hefty lead as it's left all onto Muffy in a 1-on-3. So not looking too likely for him to pull this one off. Has the M4, of course. And let's see, if he gets a kill fast, perhaps it is possible. Doesn't have a defuse kit though, which is the main problem. And I don't believe there's any nearby for him to retrieve or anywhere purchased up. There's one kill, but now his position is known. And ooh, gets a second. And luckily Poison will be in position to trade it out. So a lot of damage at least being found. Not too bad for GamePub. They do get the buyout now into this round. But as we can see, Bpro have built up a pretty decent economy, I guess. It's not great onto a lot of the players. But Poison is sitting just over 10,000, so they'd be buying for at least 1 or 2 maybe rounds after this one to follow, even if they did lose it. So yeah, 6-5 now, 5 rounds in a row for Bpro. And let's see, GamePub once again not going for the op, interestingly enough, and that's what Weir had that most impact on. So I'm just surprised that he hasn't picked this up once again since he kind of died with it in that clutch situation.
Yeah, and Muffy had $6,400 at the start of this round, so they certainly could have bought up that AWP if they wanted it. But they don't decide to go for the sniper into this round. And similarly, Bpro have a lot of money and they've decided not to go for that AWP, which is a little bit surprising considering Train generally is one of the most AWP-heavy maps in the map pool. So we'll see what the rifles can do, because again, the aggression has come through for the CT side. Weir is pushed all the way through in towards A main. That's a pretty powerful position that he can play from, but I don't think the push is going to come in towards him. Oh, it might though, actually. Yeah, the smokes are being lined up, so Weir's aggressive position into A main could be huge. Blocker is coming here alone with the bomb. This is crucial. This fight needs to be won, and Blocker goes down. That's the bomb dropped. GamePub just find all the frags. It was Chev who shut down that hot dog push, and that is domination. Not a single point of damage taken. That's not what Bpro were looking for.
Definitely not. As we said, though, they still have the money to buy. It's been a good attempt at salvaging the half so far, already getting themselves up to 5 rounds, and they can take that further. So I don't think they'll be too worried about losing that one. But yeah, ideally they really would have wanted to have taken it, but still they're in a position now where they can buy up. They can try and win this round out. It won't break the economy of GamePub, as you can see. Of course, winning that round quite easily, they're able to keep the weapons up, not have to reinvest. So yeah, a kind of decent situation for both teams now. This round is kind of what it comes down to decide who's going to be able to take the bit of momentum going into the last couple of rounds of this half. Pause coming in. Not quite sure. I presume this is maybe a... Yeah, Bpro wanted to pause, so I presume they're really calling the tactical so that they don't lose this next round, because that may be their last buy before they're forced onto an eco.
Yeah, with Poison having $12,000, the buy certainly can still come through. Even though a couple of the players are low on money, he can drop guns over for them. Also could see an AWP be picked up if they wanted it, but we haven't seen Bpro go for that AWP too often so far, so that's not something I'd be expecting to come in.
I'd like to see it.
Yeah, I was going to... Exactly. If Bpro feel like they need to switch something up, that could be the case. I mean, at the same time, they had just won 5 rounds in a row before that, not using the AWP too often, so they don't have to pick it up, but I agree. I think it's probably worthwhile to take that one, especially considering GamePub haven't gone for the AWP too often on their side of things. Just try and see if you can work that long-range pick, and that could, you know, give a pretty easy early advantage.
Yeah, exactly, and they won't really be 100% aware that there's no op for GamePub, but they should have a pretty decent idea that there isn't, so having that op to work with gives, on train especially, a lot of room for that player to work with to try and find those openings, with there being so many long-range angles, of course, so yeah. It'll be interesting to see if he decides on that. We have just got confirmation that it is actually a technical pause and not a tactical pause, guys, so yeah, hopefully that will be resolved extremely soon. It was said to be just a quick one. It's just a mic problem for one of the Bpro players. So yeah, we should be good to go pretty soon. And let's see, 1AK being bought up by Red Star. So as we presumed, they will be investing into this one. And let's see what Poison does, because he could... Venko can buy for himself as well. I think Poison could drop over 2 AKs and still easily have enough for his op. So if he wanted it, they could get the op alongside all the rifles. The only problem is they may lack a bit of utility. Zix and Blocker should be fine to buy it up since they'll be getting dropped rifles, but... As we can see, Venko and Red Star are likely not going to have too much, but they should have the basics, the smokes, and maybe a couple of flashes to go alongside it.
Yeah, it will be a fine buy, I think, for both teams. But something that is worth mentioning as well is the fact that, I mean, individually, some of the GamePub players have certainly showed up here so far. I mean, as I was saying earlier, I was expecting to be the one player to watch for GamePub, mainly just because that qualifier, you know, they played on Train, and he actually had a really good performance there against Bajini Puleni, who are a team over in Group B. And GamePub coming through that qualifier did really well to get that upset through. So yeah, he's certainly playing very well so far. 15 for 4. Whether it's AWPs or rifles, he's getting the job done. And we also saw Chev step it up in that recent round with that 3K on the hold. So those two really standing out. As for Bpro, I mean, we were kind of expecting Poison to be that standout player. That's not really come through so far. We also haven't seen the AWP brought up for him too often, so that could be limiting him. But he's had the chance to take the AWP, and he's not decided to buy it. So I'm not sure if that's a team decision or something that he's comfortable with, but...
Maybe a team decision, yeah. I guess on the T side of Train, it's not really needed, especially if they keep going for the kind of faster-paced plays that we've been seeing from them so far. So I can understand that. They probably want that rifle, of course, the player a little bit more versatile when he has that. He can actually try and lead the way of not just be there up close to find the trades, and with an op at least, of course you can be, but it's a bit awkward if you miss the shot. Then you have to go ahead and cock back the bolt, and it leaves you exposed for a while. So I guess you can see why they want to use rifles. We'll probably see him pick it up quite a bit more often on the CT side, but I'd like to see him pick it up now. As I said before, it would be something that they could work with into this round to give them a slight advantage in order to try and catch GamePub off guard, because we haven't seen it too much, so they may not be expecting it.
Yeah, exactly that.
But then again, not seeing it for so long means surely they're buying it up now.
Ooh, mind games.
Yeah, it's a fine line. That's what it is. They haven't done it at all. They won't ever do it, or they haven't done it yet, and they should be doing it. Depends which way you think about it, I guess.
Exactly. Got to try and get in your opponent's head.
Exactly.
Got to think 3 moves ahead.
It's like FNS.
Yeah, he's thought more than 3 moves ahead. Thought about 10 moves ahead. He's already got 2019 planned out.
Yeah, we may have lost Stephen Hawking, but we still have FNS, so it's fine.
Exactly. I mean, in terms of picking up that AWP as well, I think the issue with getting the AWP on the T side can be the fact that you kind of have to go into some sort of awkward positions aggressively. Like, even going into A main with the AWP on the T side can be really awkward. There's a ton of angles you have to try and deal with as you're pushing out. And I think that's something that wouldn't be as much of a problem for Bpro, because we've seen GamePub be willing to go aggressive. So if you just have an AWP sort of locking down Ivy, maybe try and see if you spot out any aggression there, or even
just holding B, yeah.
Yeah,
I think they've got aggressive on B a few times. Usually when they pushed up ramp, they also sent the player upper, if I'm correct.
Yeah, I think so. So yeah, it might not be a bad idea, even if you just want to hold back, because GamePub have definitely been getting up in Bpro's faces so far. And again, that's something that's really nice to see. But if Bpro realize that, it certainly could be countered into the future. So GamePub might want to hold off on that aggression a little bit if it's being sort of spotted out.
It definitely seems like GamePub is using that aggression as a way to kind of counter Bpro. It seems like they've definitely prepared for them as an opponent coming into this one, which definitely they should have been, of course, knowing that we're going to be facing up against them, knowing the players in their group, the teams in their groups rather. So it's good to see so far. 7-5 though, still fairly close. I wouldn't say either team is too favored currently. GamePub ideally probably want to get themselves up to that 9-6 at least. Probably want 10-5 ideally. Let's see if that's going to be the case or not. Bpro, they can still pull it back and actually win out the half. So yeah, there's still some important rounds to come up in the remainder of this half, of course. But let's see. Hopefully the pause will be called off soon enough. Issues just been resolved, as was said before.
And again, I think this is something you kind of see quite often in these matchups where you have one team that are fairly big favorites heading into the game. Seems like oftentimes the team that is the underdog, maybe they've done some research, or maybe they've just got a good game plan to start the game, and that goes well for them. But then eventually you kind of see the superior team, I guess you could say, sort of. Sometimes it's just them, starting to show up, but sometimes they just manage to adapt to the playstyle of their opponents, and that makes it a lot easier for them heading into the later game. So even though GamePub have a pretty good position right now, I think it's going to be quite telling in these next few rounds as to whether or not they can really compete for the win. Because, yeah, sure, the scoreline's close, but at the end of the day, you've got to keep on playing it through into that second half throughout this game. And I think that's something that the underdog teams can oftentimes really struggle with. So I'm still a little bit worried for GamePub, sorry. I think Bpro should still be in pretty good shape here.
Oh yeah, definitely in terms of the teams, I think Bpro naturally have that advantage just in terms of being the favourite, as we said. But I think in terms of the scoreline of 7-5, this would usually be pretty decent. But yeah, GamePub, as I expect, and as I was saying, they probably want that 10-5 half to put themselves in a decent position to try and close it out. And even then, it won't be too easy. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how this goes once we actually do get back into the action.
Yeah, I mean, we were promised a quick tech pause.
We were lied to.
I feel like
life is not fair.
Exactly.
I'm gonna go throw a tantrum.
You can't get everything you want in life. Otherwise, I'd win every game 16-0. And that never happens.
Not for you, anyway.
Well. Yeah, no.
DMG matchmaking doesn't count. Okay.
Damn it. I actually play on my Gold Nova Smurf and win 16-0.
Damn.
I actually don't have a Smurf.
I don't have a Smurf. I have like 4 accounts, but like they're not really Smurfs. Actually, they'll probably 3 of them are. I think they were all like at least Supreme, but they'll probably be all unranked at this point now. So I haven't used them in such a long time. So yeah, I think my main's probably going to get unranked soon. I don't play matchmaking, so I play like 1 every month or so. More of a FACEA person. I like FACEA.
Yeah, FACEA is good.
ACA is good as well. I lost my A+ on ACA though, so I stopped playing it.
Oh no.
It just seems like I always get queued with D players. It's very strange.
I think, from what I can tell, ESCA matchmaking seems almost completely random.
Yeah, it doesn't match based on, like, it doesn't match you with your teammates based on them being a similar skill to you. It kind of just matches two teams that have similar distribution of ranks. So it can be like two really good players on each team. I stick to Face It a bit more. I don't play CS too often. I play like maybe one game every couple of days. But here we go, getting back into the action. Finally, the pause has been removed, and look at this. Poison has the op. Let's see if he's going to be able to strike down any opponents with that one. Maybe we'll be able to actually get in the veins of any of his opponents is a good way to put it. I guess he is Poison after all. But let's see now. Looking to try and get aggressive early on his blocker. Straight out towards A, in towards Hell. And the Molotov for the moment will be slowing him down. But he is able to actually spot that player out towards Ivy, and his teammates now are going to be able to drop that one. Nice trade at least by Yurik to be found. So a 4-on-4. And Bpro, let's see if they're going to be able to find these kills now on towards the bomb site, because two players already in position, a third joining them coming in through connector. But oh, Poison, I was going to say this shot almost perfect, but just about misses the head. So still a 4-on-4 now, as they've actually been successful at least forcing one player back off and continually getting these trades. Poison to take down Yurik, Zix to drop Weir, and it's left all to Chev now in a 1-on-3. Poison is extremely low HP, so definitely a winnable situation. He gets that first kill onto Zix. Would he expect Red Star over towards Ivy, though, is the question, as he is being cautious of A main, so I don't think he's really aware of both players' positions, which makes this a little bit more complicated. Definitely still winnable, because he actually has been able to reposition himself as well.
Ooh. Oh, did he make a step there? He may have made a step. I think
he did, yeah. Red Star completely focused on it.
That's unfortunate. I think it was just one slight step that really cost him there, because that could have been a free kill from behind and a real chance at the clutch. But as you were saying, Poison doing work with that AWP does get a double kill through and gets to hold on to it for this upcoming round. Still, though, GamePub are going to put up a fight into this one. They had another buy on the board. No defuse kit, which is something worth mentioning, and as well a 3B stack to start the round. This is going to be aggression yet again. We do see Bpro coming over towards B as well, but actually, no, GamePub not going for that push. I was expecting them to go for that early on here, but it's Poison peeking in. He spots two players, and that means that Weir can, well, just shut them down. I'm surprised to see the repeat come in there, but there we go. A domination over towards the B site again. Locker, though, going to get another kill back, so Bpro not out of this round just yet.
Certainly not. A 2-on-3 is a very winnable situation, but let's see. Looking to try and make their way onto this A-bomb site once again. Has been kind of given up at a CT site. They've gone into a bit more of a passive setup, although there is actually Weir now who's pushing up through old bomb train, and there's no support right now for the player putting this bomb down. He may be backstabbed in just a moment, and there you go. We're able to get that first kill. Venko, 7 HP. His position is now in towards Ivy, and there's very little that he's going to be able to do in this situation. The nade from Weir, of course, to finish him off, and there you go. 20-5 for Weir so far, and we haven't even finished the first half. He's really impressing me. He's putting in a great performance, and yeah, it's interesting to see that he has 20 kills. Chev has 14, Yurik has 12, and they're still only up by 2 rounds. When you have a look at the Bpro side, look how more evenly distributed the frags are. We can see Zix, he's lagging behind just a little bit maybe, but everyone else, only a difference of 4 at most.
Yeah, and that means that heading into this last round of the half, I mean, if Bpro could get this win, they would be really happy. But as you were saying, considering their kills, yeah, 6 rounds is certainly fine. We are going to see Weir pick up the AWP for the last round of the half, and again a 3B stack in play. The same setup in towards ramp, except this time Weir has an AWP. And the player in towards Upper is also ready to pounce. The peek comes in, Collins only gets the 1 kill. It's Weir now to solo hold B with the AWP. He could be in trouble. The rotate comes in though. Weir, oh, gets a collat. Another for Weir, shutting it down. And it's all up to Poison, 1v2 with the MAC-10 in hand. Weir just turns the tides of this round, and Poison doesn't even have the bomb for this clutch. This is going to be so difficult.
This man is inhuman. That's all I can say. May find the final kill. Actually takes a bit of damage, down to 32 HP now, and a Molotov going to be placed in by Poison as well. Let's force him back off. A nice flash, giving him the opportunity to actually chase down that kill, and he brings it back into a 1-on-1 now. Poison makes this a very winnable situation. He is able to retrieve a rifle. Going to go ahead and pick up an AK in the end, and might be able to just run this straight over towards the A-bomb site. We can see Muffy, he was getting himself ready for this to be a B attack. He'd gotten himself up towards heaven. He was waiting for that bomb plant to eventually come in, but now he's left on the other side of the map as the bomb is going to be put down. And this gives Poison quite a lot of time to work with now to go ahead and actually reposition himself. Puts it down fairly standard and decides to back off over towards A main. So not planted directly for him, but he can definitely get that peek. And a defuse kit available for Muffy alongside a smoke. So this could actually get awkward if the smoke's just put down and the bomb immediately stuck. Definitely could work out in favor of Muffy. Let's see Poison now. Hearing the noise of that one is going to go for the peek originally. Realizes that it's not being stuck for the moment. At least I don't think he heard the tap even coming in. Here we go. The spam. Oh no, the bomb is being stuck. He doesn't have any ammo left. Muffy gets the defuse. And that is just heartbreaking for Poison.
Played it so well.
You really did.
Oh boy. It's always sad to see when someone plays the round really well and then just misses that final crucial moment. But that's how the cookie crumbles. Poison not going to get the last round of the half on the board for Bpro. It is GamePub who get their 9th round together. Still pretty good for Bpro, though, all things considered. 6 rounds is fine for them. And considering the fact that they managed to sort of slog their way back into that half, heading into this second half now, I think they'll be the more confident of the two teams. But a lot of that is predicated upon this pistol round. So we'll see what the buys look like for both sides, because you can already see Collins buying up the nades for GamePub. Bpro should get a kit. Let's see, no, they don't, so that could be a problem if that bomb goes down quickly, which can happen pretty easily, especially over towards that B site. That could be an issue for Bpro, so we'll see if they are ready to hold on to B, because that's where the push is going to come in.
Yeah, but they're pros, remember? They can hold down B. That was terrible. Let's see though. A fast play coming in by GamePub. Smoke towards connector, looking to try and close the distance, and it actually does work out for Chev to find that opening kill, and actually gets himself a second as well by dropping Venko. Blocker somehow still alive towards upper. Eventually gets spotted out and traded. As now only Poison remains, left in a 1-on-4. Gets a single kill so far, but trapped in towards connector, not much that can be done. And there you go. A 10th round is going to be put onto the board for GamePub as they reach double digits, and yeah, as we said, that pistol round was going to be massively important for both sides. It's the most cliche thing anyone can ever say, but it is true. It's basically the only round that can actually get you 3 onto the board for just winning 1. So yeah, a very important one indeed for them to take. And now if they can actually manage to overcome this force buy, they should be able to get themselves a 12-6 lead before they have to face off against the full investment.
Yeah, but with how CSGO is currently, it's never guaranteed that you're going to get this next round win. Exactly. Couple of CZs in play, but also some Deegs. Quick A play coming in from GamePub. The push has come out through B from Blocker. As the trades go through, Blocker is on the flank. He's going to get 1 free frag, but in comes the trade through. So Red Star is left alone. 3 to find, and with the Deeg, it's not going to be easy to find them as he is currently positioned over towards Ivy. I mean, the players are somewhat low, but yeah, there we go. Already Muffy going to close out the round win. GamePub up to an 11th on the board, and this looks pretty good for them now. I mean, they have won both pistols, which obviously does give them a big boost in terms of getting some rounds on the board, but if they could scrape out this win now, that would be a really impressive victory for them, as they are almost certainly going to get to a 12-6 lead.
Yeah, and if they take that first gun round again as well, then they'd be in a position where they'd likely have 14, and then we've seen them even on that CT side after Bpro finally got the momentum going. It's not like they stopped getting rounds completely. They were still able to pick up some. They were just a bit more separated. So it'll be interesting to see if they're going to be able to actually close this one out, even if they do get themselves into that, if they do get themselves into the solid lead, because as we said, that's when things can kind of become to get a bit difficult, especially when you're up against a team with so much experience. Once they begin to get a few rounds, begin to close that gap, you can get a bit worried. But right now, at least GamePub, nothing to worry about. They're up against only default pistols, a single P250 for Zix, and they are just going to go ahead and overwhelm this A-bomb site quite easily. It's going to be the CTs just forced back off, and not a single kill to come in as the bomb plant should go down in a 5-on-5. They're being cautious though, which I do like to see, making sure that no one's in any positions where they can hide and find a couple of kills. But here we go now. 5-on-5 retake, and ideally Bpro just want to get a few kills out of this, try and drop a couple of those weapons, but even then, if they do actually try and stick together to go for those exit frags, that's given an opportunity for the SMGs to find kills and get that extra money to actually build up. So it's kind of risk reward if they want to try and actually get themselves a weapon, whether they want to allow for that economy to be put into the bank of GamePub.
Yeah, and I think in theory, GamePub should be playing this by just sending out those SMGs, and you can already see Urich goes down, but yeah, it's only a MAC 10 lost. Ooh, Collins and Muffy have to get out of there. I think they will be safe as they run back to A main. So yeah, I think from me, I'd have liked GamePub to go a bit more aggressive with those SMGs. They haven't really decided to try and get any of that money. But then again, they could keep these SMGs into this round and try and take this as a bonus. And it looks like that might be what they're going for. So even if they lose this one, they can probably still get a buy into the future. But here we go. An AWP bought up for Poison. He spends all of his money on that one weapon. It's going to have to be impactful for Bpro into this critical gun round.
Yeah, as we said though, they do have a slight advantage in terms of the buy. There's a lot of utility, at least for the T side, to work with, and it looks like they have a plan immediately coming into this round. A fast play towards the B-bomb site once they got contact, decided to just let go of that shift key, hold W, and Blocker with a great spray down. It's like he's 6 to find that third and give him the assistance, and he goes ahead and doubles down as well. So really good hold on that B-bomb site. You're trying to lurk towards A, also gets dropped. So there we go, Bpro picking themselves up that first gun round. 5 rounds now in the difference. But it was, as we said, a bit of a bonus one coming in from GamePub. Not everyone invested completely. It was, I believe, only Yorick who had to invest all of his economy. So yeah, he's left a little bit low, but he will be dropped over an AK. So it's still a very solid buy for GamePub. So let's see now, a crucial round here. Whoever wins this likely going to be able to force the opposing team onto an eco. As we can see, neither team really working with any economy.
And again, it's going to be that 4-1 setup. Blocker was competent holding the B bomb sites in that last round, so they are comfortable leaving him alone towards B yet again. And the quick rotate can always come through from Poison if it is required, and that has already come out. That AWP into connector is leaning over towards the B bomb site. We also see Zix and Red Star both pushed up in towards Pop Dog, so they could be lining up a quick flank on this B push as well. And GamePub could get overwhelmed quite quickly here if they are not careful, because they are lining up this B push. There are 2 players holding the site, and this flank could come through. They need to be careful here.
Yeah, definitely, but they will be putting most of their presence out upper. Blocker are going to be able to find one a second. Not quite possible as Chev does find to trade, but I was going to say brought back into an advantageous situation. And it is indeed by Zix who's able to get that kill. So 2 versus 3, Chev and Weir are going to be left 2 of the players who have been performing the strongest so far for GamePub. And let's see if they're going to be able to step it up now in this 2-on-3. Aggressive after plans, they look to try and push forward, which is ideal. You don't want to get pinned in towards that site when you're working with a disadvantage, especially. Let's see, Chev needs to find this kill. He does spot out the first player over towards Summit, gets that kill, spots out another towards Heaven, but he won't be able to connect the spray, as Weir is also dropped elsewhere. So yeah, that wasn't intended actually. That pun. That's just the way I pronounce elsewhere.
Yeah, boom.
Just had to point that out. So good round coming in from Bpro. They only survive with 2 players, so they won't really build up too much economy. With the bomb plant coming in for GamePub, they could maybe buy if they wanted. Yeah, I was gonna say they can get 3 AKs. Jurek should be able to get one with, I was gonna say body armor, but it seems like he wants to just go for the CZ instead, which is fine. Means he gets utility as well. He won't be one shot to the head up against those M4s. So yeah, you can see why. Both decisions could have been made, I guess. But 2 AKs to work with at least, and they know the economy is still low for Bpro. Not wanting to allow them to actually build up that economy and get the momentum in their favor. So I like this from GamePub for the moment. Look at that damage though that's been done early on. Yorick, he got aggressive out into Olaf and burned straight down to 4 HP.
Ooh, and even more damage done. Venko going to get the first kill over towards Ivy. Trade comes out from Shevko, but he's down to 1 HP. So that's not exactly great, considering Juric was already down to 4 points of health. Those 2 are very, very dangerously low. And again, we're seeing only Blocker towards that B site, but he's still playing it with confidence on this aggression in towards upper B. He's not going to push all the way through, and he will now fall back, but he's getting a decent amount of information. That means that Vinko can get another kill through. He's standing in this smoke. Weird doesn't know that, though, so he's not going to be able to get the trade. The push is coming in towards A. GamePub have gained some ground towards the site. It's Juric pushing in, but the bomb is dropped over towards Ivy. That is crucial, as it's only Chev left. He will fall, and Bpro starting to work their way back into this CT side, and more importantly, breaking GamePub's economy. So this is now looking like it could be a very, very close game.
Yeah, this is beginning to become a bit of a problem now for GamePub. I think I'm going to favor Bpro at this point. Of course, as we said, they are the favorites overall. Even behind by 3 rounds right now, I still think they're going to be quite favored on the CT side. They're just looking a lot stronger. Are going to be up against an Eco into this one. Just some pistols being upgraded. One player with Kevlar and a little bit of utility to back it up. But they should have a fairly easy time. Should be double digits coming in, and only 2 rounds then in the difference. Let's see, GamePub for the moment just going to be kind of hanging back. Grouping up in the B halls, it seems. May try and take this fight towards Pop Dog, which will be interesting considering there's a very solid setup at a CT side currently. And there we go, Zik's able to take down Weir, a second player to assist. Collins goes for the peek to try and find that trade, and it does not work out. And now it's all down to Chev and Muffy in a 2-on-5. 2 Deegs to work with. And that's not the best weapon to drop down Pop Dog with, to say the least.
Certainly not. It is Bpro to get double digits without losing a single player in that 22nd round. We have seen Bpro go for that double Pop Dog setup a couple of times now, and up against full nades, that's something that can be very, very worrying. If those mollies and nades come in towards you, you can take a lot of damage. So I don't think I'd like to see them continue to go for that aggression in towards Pop Dog. But they used it in those rounds successfully, so it still worked for them in those recent rounds. And it looks like a pause has come through into this one. It's a tactical timeout called by GamePub, so shouldn't be too long before we get back underway. And we will again see the buy come through. And I mean, we were talking about Poison with that AWP. We thought he was going to be impactful on the CT side, but to be honest, he hasn't had to do too much so far. It's been the rest of the team stepping it up. And we'll see if that trend continues as we head into another gun round.
Well, he is still second on the scoreboard. Or at least drawed for second, most frags with 14. And let's see now, another buy coming in from GamePub. One that they probably want to win. Of course they want to win, but I mean, in terms of rounds to win, this would be a pretty important one to stop the scoreline from being likely equalized. But yeah, a bit of a more passive round this time around, other than that Pop Dog push, which is very similar to what we've seen in the previous round. The Molotovs do actually go in. They will be extinguished, so it's not too big of a deal. The CT players still able to keep themselves this control. And it looks like that might actually funnel GamePub over towards the B-bomb site. Right now, 2 players are going to be ready for this one. As we said, those 2 and Pop Dog as well are in positions where they can get that fast flank into play. And let's see, Blocker going to have to try and hold this one down, which he has been doing successfully so far, and he continues to do so. Drops Muffy. Second kill doesn't quite come in, as he does at least do some damage. And the trade's going back and forth. Does end up bringing it into a 3-on-3. So control of B has been succeeded over in favor of GamePub. And the bomb has indeed gone down. Kits are available, but not too much utility other than that 1 smoke and 1 flash.
Urich is on the lurk as well. He's going to come behind in towards Connector. Zixo is already on the site to get the first kill through. Collins finds one on the bomb site itself. He needs to slow it down because Urich is on the flank. Easy kill for him, and the flash to the sky helps slow things down further. Collins does go down on the site. Takes Red Star down low, though, and Urich is in position for the wallbang. So even though the bomb was planted in the bomb train, not really in that default position, that probably helped Urich slightly more on that big flank, and he manages to get the job done. 2 kills coming from Connector, and that means that Bpro, they will still have a buy, but they are put under a bit more pressure because GamePub are edging closer and closer to that 16th round win. And we will see Bpro still have that full buy here, so they won't be too worried just yet. Poison has that AWP in play again. And again, they're going to go back to the setup where it's only Blocker towards B, who throws a pretty bad nade. But we won't talk about that.
Kind of never happened. Let's see though, another crucial round for both sides. Not a great investment into this one from GamePub. You can see how little utility that they already have remaining. 2 smokes, 1 flash, 1 Molotov, and also a Galil on towards Muffy, so slightly weakened in terms of the firepower as well. And then 15 seconds now remaining as, once again, the same setup coming in from Bpro. They haven't really changed this too much. I guess it's been working so far, except for in that previous round, of course. But yeah, keeping 2 players aggressive on Pop Dog at least early on into the round, but not seeing any contact. They do decide to fall back off a little bit more passively, and it's probably for the best now because they can actually go ahead and give a bit of assistance over towards Venko, who's likely going to need that quite soon. We can see GamePub, they are grouping up at Ivy. 3 players are ready to try and hit this bomb site from this part of the map, and 1 from Pop, 1 from A main likely. So just a straight up split towards this A bomb site, just keeping it fairly simple. Not too much of any complicated parts being added to it, but just fairly basic. Doesn't work out at least immediately. Poison gets 1. Zik's going to be able to drop Chev as well. good work to find Muffy also. So falling apart right now. Nothing been found for GamePub to open up the site. Collins eventually got a second kill into that round on towards Venko, but not going to work out. Bpro instantly coming in with that reset, and you can see now the economy not looking good for GamePub. They have 4 players who are actually looking at a double eco, and with Yorick being able to actually afford that AK, they are going to go for the full investment.
Here we go. This is going to be a really important round now for GamePub. If they lose this, they don't have the money for a buy into the next round, and they're going to be in a bit of trouble. Bpro have done a really good job at working their way back into this CT side. We are going to see the quick play come out towards A, and it's already Muffy to get the first frag through. As CZ managed to get up close, another kill comes in. What is happening? Kills come across the board for GamePub. Still no response from Bpro. Finally, Blocker gets a nice spray transfer. Another frag comes in, but Muffy gets a trade through again. So it's Blocker who has to get all of these kills up to a 4K, and he gets another frag. Collins is on the flank, though. This could be unexpected. Blocker's coming back around. This is so awkward, but Blocker turns around and just about closes out the round win for Bpro. That was such a scrappy round, but the Bulgarians hold on for the win. Wow. Into round 26 we go. It's Poison to pick up the AWP again for Bpro, but more importantly, it's GamePub with almost nothing to show for their buy into this round. A P250 and a flashbang between their entire lineup. They are going to go in towards B, and Blocker again is alone towards this B site, but the rotation comes in quickly. Poison in position to assist his teammate on this B hold. So they shouldn't be in too much trouble against a weak buy from GamePub, and already some early damage being done.
Indeed, we're taken down to 13 HP and Chev to 54, so a couple of players being weakened up. Blocker is alone on the B-bomb site, as was mentioned. He does have some assistance, actually, from Poison, who's in the backlines with the op, and he will be the one to open this up. Collins gets taken down as he looks to try and push out of upper. And so far, nothing working out. At least the bomb plant is found for GamePub. That is a bit of a bonus. They get that extra $800 per player, of course. They're not going to be able to find a single kill, and that is going to be Bpro going ahead and equalising the scoreline now, 13 to 13. Going right down to the wire in this game, but it's not looking too good for GamePub. Winning themselves both pistols, one of those first gun rounds. It seems like when the rifles are out, Bpro are just heavily favoured, as you would expect.
Well, we are all tied up. But with how these recent rounds have been going, Bpro, as you were saying, certainly look to be the favoured team. They've won 7 out of the last 8 rounds ever since they've come through into this CT side. And GamePub, the only gun round they've won is in that 23rd round, where it came down to that 1 versus 1. So it's really been dominance from Bpro so far in this second half. We'll see if that continues, though, because GamePub have those AKs out. They also have a lot of nades to work with. But Blocker's going to go aggressive in towards upper B. That gives a little bit of information to his teammates. He's not fully peeking out, though, so not enough info to fully gamble on the A site hold. That means that GamePub are going to be able to push towards A, but already the first kill comes in for Red Star.
Vent goes well to find one before he does fall, so working out once again for Bpro. A lot of damage being done. Zik's going to go ahead and strike Collins down. So only Chev and Yorick remain. Bit awkward there for Poison, but somehow survives. I'm not sure how that kill wasn't taken. Yeah, Chev, that's a kill you should be getting every single day, but apparently not. It's all onto Yorick now on a 1-on-3. Poison not able to connect the shot quite yet, but he will eventually do so. And there you go, Bpro actually claim themselves the lead for what I believe maybe the first time in this map so far. Pretty sure it is. So 14 to 13 now, and GamePub likely going to have to go ahead and concede map point in favour of Bpro. They go for pistols and Kevlardy, so they have something to work with, but it's not perfect, and even with the full rifles, they have been struggling so far on this T side.
Yeah, and as we were kind of saying earlier, this is something you will oftentimes see. As soon as Bpro got into their groove, they really managed to cruise their way into the lead here, it seems like. And GamePub, they did get that good start going, but that's a little bit worrying that they couldn't get anything going after that. You can already see Bpro looking good in this round as they take 2 kills. Blocker's pushed all the way through B, as they know it's going to be an A push, and Muffy is the only man left. He should fall shortly. Oh, actually gets that kill there. I don't know how that's happened, but he should be dead now. There we go. Venko hunts him down, and it is Bpro up to map point in our first game of the day. They are going to have to deal with the buy from GamePub, though, so it's not over just yet. GamePub only need 2 for overtime, but certainly Bpro will be much more comfortable in this position.
Yeah. Definitely will be more comfortable. At the end of the day, a win is a win, but you have to wonder as well if they were expecting this game to be a little bit more one-sided in their favor. Maybe the game for them to try and warm up. But yeah, it definitely seems like they've warmed up lately, so shouldn't be too much of an issue. But yeah, 2 rounds in the difference. 2 have to be taken in a row for GamePub to try and force this one into overtime, and I don't know how confident I am. Where is really cooled off as well, currently 24-70, and he was at halftime, I believe, on 23 kills, if I'm correct, because he was 20 and then he got that 3k with the op in the final round.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we haven't really seen him get the AWP much on this T side. As you were saying in the first half as well, it's not something that you necessarily want to pick up all the time on the T side, but that could be part of the reason why he has been struggling. Either way, here we go. We're heading into what could be the last round of this first game. GamePub lose, then they are going to be out of the runnings here. They are already just going to be spread out into a default setup, but Blocker looking to get aggressive, goes for the peek, doesn't get the kill on the first try, but gets it eventually. It's weird to be dropped early on. Again, he struggles early into this round, leaving his team in a 4v5, but they quickly respond with a push over to the A site, which is looking quite vulnerable right now. The bomb is already up onto the site itself. So player going up in towards Heaven in the meantime. Collins takes him down, but the kills all coming through. It's Bpro to almost certainly get this win. Shev needs all these frags. He's not going to find them. And so it is Bpro to get the win. And, I mean, Rema was saying that his heart was with the Serbian team and his mind was with the Bulgarian side. So we'll see what Rema thinks after this as we go back to the analysis desk.
Hello.
Oh, we're live. We're live now. So welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We've witnessed a really interesting match between GamePub and Bulgarian team. Even though Bulgarian team struggled a lot at the start of the first half, they were losing 6-0. Then they managed to win 2 against 3 players, taking that A site. It was really a hard retake from Serbian team, but since then they managed to win 4 rounds. And eventually lose the first half 9-6. But later on, I think that GamePub